In the practice of tolerance, one's enemy is the best teacher, the Dalai Lama. Established in 1995 by the United Nations General Assembly, November 16 is observed annually as International Day of Tolerance. The observation serves to educate people on the need for tolerance in society and help them to understand the negative effects of intolerance. Welcome to another Thursday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Lisa Rowe. Stay with us. We have an informative and exciting show lined up.
All motorists, pedestrians, private and public operators, motorcyclists, it is important for us to drive defensively. Driving defensively saves lives, and we know that lives are most important to each and every one of us. It is important also to be trained and certified as a defensive driver, for it increases the likelihood that you'll prevent collisions on our roadways.
Good day, I am Adrian Atkinson and this is your JIS News for Thursday, November 16, 2023. After a fish kill in July 2022, which threatened the livelihoods of fishers in the Rio Cobre watershed, the National Fisheries Authority is reporting that a restocking exercise has now been successfully completed. The exercise, which got underway on June 30, was one of the measures employed to restore the river's fish population after the fish kill. UC Rosal Windalco was issued 2 special permits to restock with fry and fingerling tilapia at multiple locations within the Rio Cobre watershed in St. Catherine. 20,000 seed stock were released over the duration of both permits from June 30 to October 31. With that exercise completed, the National Fisheries Authority says Windalco is now required to submit a final environmental assessment report. The company was also issued with a fish habitat protection order, which is in effect as of October 1, 2023, and will remain in effect until the authority is satisfied that there are no further threats to the fish habitat within the Rio Cobre watershed due to the work of Windalco. The order requires that Windalco takes all necessary steps to prevent any future release of deleterious substances into the watershed. If there is any such release, the company must notify the Fisheries Authority within 24 hours, remedy any pollution situation without undue delay, and restore the fish habitat to a satisfactory condition. The distribution of 3,000 black tanks under the pilot phase of government's Rural Water Household Resilient Program has started. The initiative was announced by Prime Minister Andrew Holness during his budget presentation earlier this year as part of measures to significantly improve water resilience. It involves the distribution of 50,000 black tanks to residents of rural communities over the next 5 years. This first distribution of 400-gallon tanks is expected to be completed by the end of December in constituencies that were hardest hit by the drought. Residents will also be provided with supporting infrastructure for rainwater harvesting. Senator Matthew Samuda provided an update while tabling the National Water Resources Master Plan and the rainwater harvesting guidelines in the Senate recently.
Each location that a tank is installed will be mapped and geotagged to ensure accountability, but also to ensure we start the process of properly assessing the true national storage capacity for water.
The Inter-American Development Bank has provided grant funding of $60 million to purchase the tanks. Another $250 million is coming from the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation through the Rural Water Agency to facilitate the coordination of the project and the deployment of water harvesting systems and tanks. The program will be expanded to include all rural constituencies once the pilot phase is completed. Government has launched an island-wide pilot project to distribute solar-powered lamps to households that do not have access to electricity. The initiative is being actioned by the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport. 1,000 lamps will be distributed across the 63 constituencies in the initial phase. Portfolio Minister Darrell Vaz presented a set of 10 lamps each to 3 members of Parliament in St. James last Friday. He says MPs will receive a letter in Parliament explaining how to collect the lamps.
Each of the 63 constituencies will get, and depending on the feedback on this, then next year, in next year's budget, we will provide a substantial amount, maybe 5,000-10,000, that we can give a substantial amount to each member of Parliament to go into the various communities to find those persons who are still existing without any form of electricity.
Minister Vaz says the aim of the project is to reduce the risks and hazards associated with using alternative lighting sources such as kerosene lamps.
I hope that this will absolutely save possessions, property and life, as we have seen too many people that have suffered.
And finally, Minister of Agriculture Floyd Green has announced that agriculture-focused educational institutions will be prioritized for the receipt of new bulk storage tanks for milk production. The tanks are expected to help students develop the skills needed to increase milk output. The effort is consistent with the ministry's focus on food security, of which the minister says increasing milk production is an important component.
We're procuring now 5 new bulk storage tanks, and we're going to be providing one here in Hillside. We're going to be targeting NCU, we're going to be targeting Ebony Park, we're going to be targeting Sydney Pagan over there in St. Elizabeth, and they will all get a storage tank courtesy of the Ministry of Agriculture and the Jamaica Dairy Development Board.
Minister Green was speaking during a recent handover ceremony for a communal milking parlour in Hillside, St. Thomas. He promised that the ministry, through its research arm, the Bodles Research Station, was also designing a system in which farmers producing hay and silage would be provided with the appropriate equipment. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
Next part I show them cut it. Talking about that, listen to this. A pen sends a message. Disaster do happens. Be prepared. The municipal corporation reminds us of hurricane, earthquake, flooding, you name it, and preparedness.
Mommy, we really have to take this thing seriously.
Mommy, where's the emergency shelters?
Samir.
Primary school, churches, community centers. Know your nearest emergency shelter. Protect your family during any natural disaster. Be prepared. Visit the ODPEM website at odpem.org.jm to find the shelter listing for your parish. Know your emergency shelters.
On this week's episode of Finance Matters, we look at how the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service stays customer service focused.
Individuals tend to complain about customer service in Jamaica, especially in the government. As a result of this, in 2022, the government of Jamaica launched the Service Excellence Policy to improve service delivery within the public sector and ensure customer satisfaction. The policy outlines important values and minimal requirements for all government organizations, and it also explains how service excellence will be institutionalized across all ministries, departments, and agencies. But what does it mean to improve service delivery? Hi, I'm Shaquille Rochester Shorter, and welcome to Finance Matters. Joining us today to talk about the ministry's improved customer service delivery is the Director of Customer Service at the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, Mr. Rory Stennett. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. follow the Ministry of Finance on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and now TikTok to see all the episodes and highlights. Mr. Stennett, thank you for coming on our program today.
Thank you for having me.
What does it mean for the Ministry of Finance to improve service delivery?
All right, so improving service delivery as a government entity is very different from private sector and others.
Okay.
When you need services from the government, there is no one else that you can go to. And that's the benefit now to saying we need to make the citizens' experience better. Citizens generally say, oh, government takes too long. It's a thing not only here, but all over the globe.
Okay.
So improving service delivery means how do we make life easier for citizens? How do we contract the time it takes, meaning tighten the time it takes for things to be turned around?
Okay.
How do we improve our responsiveness? How do we ensure that there's always high quality that first time someone wants something?
I hear you keep mentioning government, and we are the government.
Sure.
But tell us about the investment in service delivery.
So I'll have to go macro and then micro, right?
Okay.
So from the outset, you mentioned up top, there is a policy now instituted across government to improve service delivery. It's looking at measurement aspects, so how quickly do we turn things around, to quality aspects. At the Ministry of Finance, we have over 60 services that we deliver to our customers, whether citizens, businesses, other government agencies. So let's take pensions, for example.
Okay.
Improving service delivery there operates on different levels. One level is when you call, do you get someone to talk to? And we've invested significantly in that experience. When you email, does it just get lost? Or is it cataloged? Someone is assigned to it, someone manages it to completion. Do you have a set of standards that you're held to? All of that is a part of our investment at the Ministry of Finance, and that's just one service.
Okay.
We have services that citizens abroad require. So if you are going to have a change of status and you're abroad, you need to have a specific letter that comes only from the Ministry of Finance to the public service.
Okay.
We have improved it now, where you have a lot more certainty. Before, it was a nebulous. You submitted something, you don't know what happened. Now we know where it is. Better tracking, better organization, so we can have a better, faster turnaround time. That's what it means when we say we're investing in that service experience.
Tell us more about the standard. I know there's a service charter.
That's right. We launched a citizens charter. It is a set of rules and standards that we want citizens to hold us accountable to. So it says, for example, that when you call us, this is how long it takes to get through. When you email us or send us a letter, this is what you should expect.
Okay.
And if you're not getting the standards we promise, you get to hold us accountable, because we are accountable to citizens. We're accountable to our customers. So if, for example, you're expecting a certain response from the scholarships team because you applied for a scholarship, you have every right to call us and say what's going on. And there's a team assigned to manage that complaint. If you are another government entity and you've submitted a budget proposal, you're supposed to get a response.
Yes.
It's a part of the services that we have. So we ensure that you are getting what you are supposed to get, and we published what those standards should be. Please hold us accountable.
How long should I be on hold if I call the Ministry of Finance?
Okay, you should get through within 30 seconds. That is our standard.
Okay.
We've instituted a brand new telephone system for our 5 highest volume teams in terms of the number of calls they receive to get there. Now we just put it in place. It's going to take us a little bit to get there and, increase staffing, increase training, but we've made the investment in the technology and we're making the investment in the people so that we can deliver those faster response times.
I hear you talking about some of the initiatives being implemented at the ministry. Are there more initiatives to ensure service guaranteed to our customers?
So much more. Now, remember I said we have over 60 services that we deliver. Each of these undergo what's called service reviews at regular intervals. It's where we bring in a select group of customers to say, this is what we're doing. Help us know if we're on the right track.
Okay.
More of our services are getting automated. More of them are going to be on our online platform, so you can access them for yourself.
Okay, nice.
Public sector workers, for example, are now able to go onto the ministry's website, go onto our platform, and request assistance, not just, mental health type services from our teams. So you can start there. These are things available to the public today because we've invested in service delivery.
And that's at our forefront at the ministry because we're driven by service excellence, Mr. Stennett.
That's right.
But before we go, I want you to tell our viewers 3 things that they should remember about service delivery at the Ministry of Finance.
Sure. So number 1, we have a new citizens charter that customers can use to hold us accountable.
Okay.
It is your guide to see this is what you should get. Now, it's a work in progress. I can't tell you that we're perfect, but we are going there. It's regular public servants like you and me. We're trying to get these services delivered, and we are dedicated to saying to customers, this is what you can expect.
Yes.
Number two, we will continue to invest in the citizen experience, the taxpayer experience, which means you can expect that we're going to keep putting money in where our mouth is.
Okay.
We're going to recognize and train staff. We're doing very well when it comes to that. And we want the public to be aware that if you think someone is doing a good job, tell us.
Yes.
Because that's the behavior we can highlight to change the culture. And number three, it is important for citizens to take away, or taxpayers or businesses to take away, that we are open for business at the ministry. It is tempting to think we're just about taxes or just about the budget.
Yes.
But there is so much there. So when you look at what we have, from micro, small, medium enterprises, scholarship applicants looking to fulfill their dreams, the pensioner who's worked in public service all your life, to so many more, people with tax disputes, we do so much. So when you come to the ministry, just know that there is likely something for you.
Yes.
And we're happy to serve.
Yes. Well, Mr. Stennett, thank you for being on our program. All I can hear you saying is that the ministry is available to do business with the public.
That's right. We're here to serve. We're at their service.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Finance Matters. Remember to follow us on social media at MOF Jamaica, and tune in next week as we continue to demystify the economic and fiscal policies and initiatives implemented by the government to empower Jamaicans as we chart a path to Jamaica's economic prosperity.
Skip and play. Come, let me take you down to the past.
Well, the whole business of weather prediction and weather forecasting is really a complex business. So what the Meteorological Service does, along with many other meteorological services right across the globe, is that we do regular observations of the weather. It starts first of all by assessing what the current weather conditions are. We try to find out how much rainfall is being detected at that point in time. We are assessing wind speed or wind direction, and the atmospheric pressure is detected. The temperature is also sensed, as well as the humidity at any location. We have the automatic weather stations, and we have over 80 of them right across the 14 parishes. Apart from these instruments, we have visual observations that are done by meteorological technicians, and they do observations of the cloud cover, the wind conditions. They view the visibility, how far they can see in the distance. There are many parameters that are measured just by using the senses. We have our Doppler radar. It shows us where across the country rainfall is actually occurring at any point in time. We also sense what is happening in the atmosphere above the ground. So this is where our weather balloon comes into play, because that weather balloon is released twice every day in Jamaica to assess the atmosphere using a bit of equipment that is attached to that balloon. There are also like buoys that are in the ocean. They are sensing weather conditions. We have some ships that are equipped with stations that bring in information. There are pilots that send in information via aircraft. Then what we do with that information afterwards is that all of it goes into numerical weather prediction models. It gets crunched by a supercomputer. It sends back now some model data that tells us what is expected to occur. But of course, we don't rely entirely on the technology because the experience of our forecasters is also important. We then have to sit down and assess what is really happening to the atmosphere. Using the local knowledge, using our understanding of the topography of the island, where the hills are located, where we're likely to get the land breezes and the sea breezes. All these things we have to take into consideration when we come up with a forecast for any specific point in Jamaica. It is a complex process, but that is how we in the Met Service actually forecast our weather conditions.
Though they are often shunned, and no matter how filthy, they never shy away from their job. An important group in keeping our nation beautiful and clean. The embodiment of the tag, "No Dirty Up Jamaica." Our next feature highlights the importance of our sanitation workers.
Once upon a time, in a land far away from a fairy tale, were a people who lived the way you and I do, but a little differently. Much like the shoemaker and the elves, these street fairies don't leave beautiful pairs of shoes behind, but their art shares some similarities, and it's nonetheless worthy of recognition.
Good night, Dana Anderson, shovel user, shovel and jump, clean up Jamaica.
I'm working in the company 8 years now. I like the job, keep the place tidy and clean.
They always say to me, say, this is not a woman's work, but a woman has to do what a woman has to do, eh? You have to work for yours, eh? Nobody ain't gonna give you nothing, so you have to work for it.
Yeah, enough of the woman they work hard and plenty of the man them. I get used to my work still, so I feel no different from the man them. At the end of the day, I will bread where I work for. So any work for woman. Woman do man work nowadays.
I'm all right with my work. Yeah, I can provide for myself, my nephew, my niece, my child. She don't really like me day out here, you know. She rather me dead with she, but I have to make ends meet. I have to work, I have to pay my bills them. But they don't give me nothing, I have to work my own. But people that see me and want to style me and this, because I try to chuck work me do and them things there. But I don't really watch my face. Because I know, say, when my money enough, you see me?
I want to burn fire upon this whole foolishness that people talk from time to time about. If they don't litter, people don't get work.
Yeah, that's what them say some my time. But them can do better still. Plenty of them can do better still.
Enough of them like we, enough don't like we, because sometimes we have to do that with all the truck like all that, so now them don't say, we move from there, say they don't thinking truck and them things, but we don't care about that. That's our work.
When you litter, you waste the resource of your country. You make life more difficult for yourself and your fellow men. And you destroy the aesthetic, the beauty of our country that we boast about so much.
We are cleaning up Jamaica. And without cleaning up not Jamaica, wiper, disease and germs are broke out. So everybody who work with solid waste, important people them. All are important.
Differently from the sweeper them, we don't like the garbage bag up and we go through it more easier for it. More time we come out and have to wait on the sweeper them like on the just seat right now. We have to wait till the street sweep up, but if it's bag up, it's more easier for it.
Just the fact that you are generating solid waste, I ask you to just take some time to package it properly so that it gives us more ease of cleaning. And it also helps the side women. They are human beings too. Their job is already very difficult.
Don't make it more difficult for them by giving them extra work to do. It is very tough on them. The job is difficult. You know, it's not just about lifting things put in a truck, but some of the things they encounter out here. Bags with human feces. That's common occurrence, especially in the market district. The smell of urine is everywhere, and it's in the solid waste that they're picking up. All sort of meat cuttings, fish bone, fish back, fish gut, just about anything that people don't want. And they have to pick it up. They have to face it.
A certain time at the night, when we reach certain hours at the night, like 3:30, 4 o'clock, gunman can all strike and we have to run left the garbage some of the time and all them things there. And come back around and take it up, see, because we cannot leave it. See me? We cannot leave it. And we don't like them keep Jamaica beauty and clean.
Well, I stay out of them way, and I'm not really go for them though. I still think them happen, you know. I just stay by myself, each time I look a corner.
And yet, despite the tough nature of the job, these people show up not just for work, but they show up and work.
We're backbone of the company, you know. Who clean the rubbish, and my backbone, we're the most important people in the company. How we clean up work, enough mess and good rubbish, bad rubbish, all different kind of rubbish.
I believe deep in my heart that if you talk about heroes and heroines, our sidemen and sidewomen are right up there with any because of the human service that they provide and in very tough circumstances to keep Jamaica clean. Day after day, night after night, they are out and about, they roll up the sleeve, and notwithstanding all that they have to face, their head is down and they are going relentlessly in pursuit of that clean Jamaica. I laud them. I lift my hat to them. They are good people. I just hope that more and more people will see them for who they are. People who are there to safeguard the health of the nation. They are the NSWMA. Without them, we are nothing.
Yeah, I love my work. I love it. I love clean the shovel.
I read me use a night time in
And as sunbeams break the night sky and the stars and moon bid their goodbye, the city smiles.
Keep that smile on their faces and preserve their innocence. Cherish the moments you have with them and create the best memories. Let's inspire our children to dream big and work hard to achieve all they aspire to be. Take the time to listen to our children and really hear their side of the story. Our children deserve love and the right to access their basic needs. Do your part and protect our children.
And just like that, we have come to the end of today's show. But join us tomorrow for another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. From the production team here at JIS, I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.